Imagine opening your laptop on a quiet Sunday evening, ready to take the first real step into your adult life. You've been working hard, saving up, and you finally found the perfect apartment. It's close to work, it has good light, and for the first time, it feels like a space that belongs completely to you. You fill out the application, pay the small fee, and wait. You aren't worried. You've never missed a bill in your life. You don't buy things you can't afford. But 48 hours later, an email hits your inbox. Denied? No detailed explanation, just a generic line about your credit history. You sit there, staring at the screen, a cold knot forming in your stomach. You check your report for the very first time, expecting a blank slate, but instead, you see a number that looks like a mistake. A massive debt you never spent, tied to an account you didn't open, run up by people you are supposed to trust. Suddenly, the future you are building feels like it's been placed behind bulletproof glass. And the worst part is, you didn't do anything wrong. When we think about financial ruin, we usually think about personal recklessness. We picture the person who buys a car they can't afford, overextends themselves on luxury vacations, or lets their shopping habits spiral out of control. We are conditioned to believe that if we are personally responsible, if we pay our bills on time and live within our means, we will be safe. But there is a silent, invisible plumbing to our financial system that doesn't care about your personal intentions. It's a network of shared risks, inherited habits, and administrative ties that can anchor you to the ground before you ever get a chance to run. We call it the credit system, but for many young adults, it operates more like an invisible trap. It's a mechanism where other people's financial behavior can quietly rewrite your future, entirely without your consent or knowledge. Most people look at a bad credit score or a rejected loan application and immediately feel a heavy wave of personal shame. We live in a culture that treats money as the ultimate reflection of character. If you have a high score, you are disciplined and trustworthy. If you have a low score, you must be careless. But this framework completely misunderstands how financial identity is actually constructed in the modern world. When you are growing up, your financial ecosystem is entirely shaped by your family. Long before you understand what a FICO score is, decisions are made that link your legal identity to theirs. Maybe a parent added you to their credit card when you were a teenager to help you buy groceries or gas, telling you it would help build your credit for the future. It felt like a gift. It felt like protection. But what happens when the safety net becomes the anchor? To understand how this trap works, we have to look past the numbers and look at the actual mechanics of human behavior and institutional banking. When a bank looks at your credit profile, they aren't looking at your heart or your work ethic. They are running an algorithm designed to predict risk. And one of the quickest shortcuts a bank uses to evaluate a young person is looking at the accounts they are associated with. When a parent adds you to their credit card as an authorized user, a strange legal tether is created. On paper, that card now appears on your credit report. If your parents pay the bill diligently every month and keep the balance low, your score gets an artificial boost. This is what the financial world calls piggybacking. It's a shortcut to a good reputation. But shortcuts have two sides. If that primary account holder falls on hard times, if they experience a medical emergency, a job loss, or if they simply have poor money habits that catch up to them, their financial reality instantly becomes your financial reality. Suddenly, a $30,000 balance appears on your record. To the outside world, to landlords, to utility companies, and to other banks, it looks like you are drowning in debt. They don't see that you only used the card for a stray ride share or a fast food meal during college. They don't see that you are responsible. They just see a risk profile that is blinking red. The psychological weight of this situation is incredibly heavy because it introduces a friction that goes far deeper than money. It introduces family dynamics into your survival. Money is rarely just about math. It is tied to loyalty, guilt, and power. When you discover that a family member's financial habits are actively harming your ability to move out, get a car, or secure a personal credit card, the natural human reaction is to want answers. You want to fix it. But bringing it up means crossing an unwritten line. It means questioning the people who raised you. It means confronting the reality that the adults in your life might not have their finances under control, and that realization can be terrifying. For many, the fear of the shouting match, the fear of causing a rift, or the fear of making a parent feel ashamed is so intense that they choose a dangerous alternative. They choose silence. They decide to just wait it out, hoping it will fix itself, or they accept the limitation, believing they just have to live a smaller life because of it. They stay in the childhood bedroom longer. They turn down jobs in cities they can't afford to move to, and they let their independence drift away. But here is the turning point, the realization that changes everything. Your financial identity is not a family heirloom. It is your personal infrastructure. Recognizing that an arrangement is harming you doesn't mean you love your family any less. It doesn't mean you are ungrateful for the help they gave you when you were younger. It simply means you are acknowledging reality. A ship cannot sail if it is still tied to the dock, no matter how much the crew wishes it could. Understanding the distinction between being legally liable for a debt and having the debt affect your life is the first step toward reclaiming your agency. If you are an authorized user on an account, you are generally not legally responsible for paying back that money. That debt belongs to the primary account holder. But as long as your name remains attached to that account, the shadow of that debt will continue to darken your personal reports. The moment you realize this, the problem shifts from an emotional crisis of family loyalty into a concrete administrative task. It becomes something you can look at objectively, without panic, and resolve. Taking control of this situation does not require a dramatic confrontation or an exposure of family secrets. It requires a quiet, deliberate shift in how you view your name and your future. The first practical step is gaining total visibility. You cannot fix an invisible trap. You have to pull your own credit reports directly from the official bureaus, not just rely on third-party apps that give you a surface-level glimpse. You need to see exactly which accounts carry your name, which ones list you as a primary owner, and which ones list you as an authorized user. Once you have that clarity, you have the right to contact the credit card company or the credit bureaus directly and request to be removed from any account where you are merely an authorized user. You don't need permission from the primary cardholder to remove yourself from their account. You can simply state that you no longer wish to be associated with that line of credit. The moment that tie is severed, the history of that account, the high balances, the late payments, the financial stress that wasn't yours, begins to drop off your record. Your score may shift initially because you are losing the age of that account, but you are gaining something infinitely more valuable, an honest slate that reflects only your choices. From there, building a financial identity from absolute zero can feel slow, but it is incredibly clean. You start small, perhaps with a secured credit card where you put down a small deposit of your own money, or a basic bank account entirely in your own name at an institution your family doesn't use. Every on-time payment, every small choice to keep your balance low, becomes a brick in a foundation that belongs exclusively to you. It is a quiet, almost boring process. There are no sudden leaps forward, no overnight fixes. But it is steady, and most importantly, it is safe from the unpredictable storms of someone else's life. If you have ever found yourself staring at a financial problem you didn't create, feeling a mix of confusion, anger, and deep anxiety about what it means for your life, I want you to take a deep breath. You are not broken, and your future is not ruined. The credit system is complex, and it is remarkably easy to get caught in its hidden plumbing when you are just trying to navigate your youth. But finding out where you stand is not a failure. It is the exact moment your real financial education begins. Progress in life rarely looks like a straight line of constant victories. More often, it looks like quietly untangling old knots, setting gentle but firm boundaries, and deciding that your financial peace of mind is worth protecting. You have the right to build a life on your own terms, using your own habits and writing your own story. And the day you take ownership of that identity is the day you truly become free. Progress beats perfection every single time. Just take the first step, look at the numbers, and remember that you have the power to change the trajectory of your own life.